All right. Well, welcome everyone. We are so excited that you're joining us tonight for our first Zoom session of the summer. Tonight, we're excited to have with us representatives from admissions, financial aid, our billing office to help you understand all of kind of our business processes. Before we do get started, though, just a few little housekeeping items. If you would please make sure your device is muted. I'll try and keep an eye on that a little bit so there's not background noise to interrupt our speakers as they share this very important information. If you do happen to have a question, you're certainly welcome to type it in the chat, and I will be keeping an eye on that so that I can jump in and let our presenters know that we have a question. You're certainly also welcome to unmute yourself and ask a question. As I did mention before, a recording of this session will be posted on the Parents and Families page of the Culver website, and I do have the link there. We usually have it up within a few days, so I would say early next week, this recording will be up for you to go back and view. A few other items I wanted to pass along to you. We have a brand new Parents and Families Facebook page. So please follow us on that new page. You can just go to facebook.com/CSC Families. We're also on Instagram at CSC_parents. So we'll be using those two social media tools to update you with information. Our first parent newsletter for the academic year will come out on July the 1st. We will be using the parent email address that we have on file for your student that's been provided to admissions. So if you're uncertain whether or not that we have that information for you, I've got my email address here on the slide. You can certainly send me that, so I'll make certain that we get that added to our mailing list. If you got this Zoom link for tonight, that means we've got your information probably. But you can always reach out to me just to double check. And if there is ever anything that you need, you can always reach out to me. I am your liaison to help make certain that you and your student have a great experience. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to get started tonight. So first, it gives me great pleasure to turn this over to our Director of Admissions, Mr. Eric Neal, who's going to kick it off tonight. So Eric, take it away.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Angie. Thanks everybody for being here. We love doing these sessions, and I know it's great to be able to talk to you guys and hopefully get some questions from you and get everybody's mind at ease as we head through the summer here. So a couple things from the admission side, which obviously were our office. I always like to mention my office as well as pretty much everybody on the call here tonight. All of our offices are open all summer long. So I know sometimes people think that sometimes some places are closed, but we are open all summer. So if you run into any issues or questions, we're there in the office. And if you have any of those questions, and to help you and your student through the process. Number one thing that I always like to mention is we want to make sure that we get some certain documents and forms in. You're going to hear from financial aid and from student billing about some things, but some things that they may not mention are going to be typically located on My Culver, which is our student portal. Hopefully, everybody here is not the first time you're hearing My Culver, but it is your student should have gotten login information for it a while back. You've probably done either the confirmation fee as well as potentially found some other links to registration day and housing, things like that. If for any reason your student or yourself are having issues logging into My Culver, please let us know so we can make sure that we get that fixed for you. We do have a two-factor authentication with Google that sometimes can cause some issues. So don't worry if there's any of that. We're happy to get that fixed for you. But let us know because your student will need to be in there often to access all sorts of forms, their schedule, billing all through their time at Culver. So be sure to let us know if you run into any problems. Your student may or may not have registered already for classes. We've been having on-campus registration days. We've had two already, one in April and one in May. We have another one coming up next Friday, so not tomorrow, but a Friday after that on the 20th. We are still taking signups, so if you're going to be in the area or want to make the trip up to campus, we'd love to have you. That's going to run from about noon to about 3:30 Central Time on campus on next Friday. So if you haven't registered, if your student hasn't registered, and they'd like to make the trip to campus, please let us know. There is still time. If you're not able to make it to campus, that's okay. We have families from all over the country and the world, so we don't expect you to make it all the way to campus if you're super far away. We do what's called virtual registration, where our registrar and our advisors are going to make a base schedule for your student, and then we'll get that out to you, and then your student will have the option to go over that schedule with their admission counselor, as well as make an appointment with an advisor if they'd like to do that to go over that. We should be doing that here pretty shortly, within the next couple weeks. Those should be coming out. There's nothing your student has to do. Our registrar and advising office will make those schedules, and we will send them out to you once that's ready. So be on the lookout for that. But make sure that, like I said, if you'd like to come to campus and you're not signed up or haven't registered, next Friday we'd love to have you. Another big one is, of course, housing. So we use a system called eRes Life. There'll be some other, I think another video, another topic on that on a different day, but just make sure that your student probably has already gone in and accessed that system and either picked their housing or done their housing application. If not, there's still time. They can still get in there and do that. Again, I won't get too far into that, but that's something to keep in mind, and they can go in and do that once they've done that confirmation fee, which I believe everybody in the call has done that tonight. If you have any questions, again, contact our office or Dean Brian Walker over in Student Life's office for any assistance with that. Another thing we try to make sure we get done is immunizations, so shot records. Right now, it's a pretty easy one as far as once you get those done, you can send those over to the admission office, to either the just admission at culver.edu or over to your student admission counselor. So anybody in our office can take that. We'll be using a system actually this year that's called Healthy Roster, which we'll get to that. But for now, we're going to take all those in our office and then handle that. So we will get that all for you. So just send those over to us. The sooner the better, but you have until move-in. So I mean, it's not like it has to be done tomorrow, but we always recommend getting it in there. A lot of times, your student's school may have it on record, maybe on their transcript. If not, you can typically go to the doctor, go to the health department. It depends on your area, but get those over to us when you can. And then two final things on our office would be your student's official final transcript. So that we have to have that for them to be able to attend, for them to get federal aid, all sorts of fun things that you're going to need to have that for. To make it official and final, it does have to have your students' final grades from either high school, community college, or college, wherever they're coming from. And as well as if it's from high school, we need it to have their graduation date. So it needs to confirm that they have graduated from high school, and it has to come directly from the school. So throughout the year, we may have been able to take your student's transcript unofficially. We're pretty open and able to take those to get them admitted originally. But once we now get to the summer, we do have to have that officially from the school. We have a lot of them already, so a lot of schools will request it from students originally and then just have them sent to us, and that's great. But double check, make sure. A lot of times we can take them a bunch of different ways. We can take them through the mail. We use official services such as National Clearinghouse, Parchment, Score. We're even able to take them via email if they come directly from your school, from your student's counselor at the high school. So they can send it to us, but it has to come from your official, from the school directly. Basically, your student and yourself can't have any official contact with it, is kind of the way the rule works. So just be working on that if you haven't. If you're not sure if your school sent it or if there's any question, please let us know. We'll be checking in throughout the summer. If there's something that we think we don't have, we'll let you and your student know. But that's something to keep in mind as you're going through the summer. And then one other thing I always mention, and this is not everyone has this, but if your student has, especially in high school, has taken dual credit classes in high school, we do need to get that transcript from the college that actually had the credit. So it may be listed on your high school transcript, but we actually have to have it from the college or university that it comes from. So get that over to us whenever you can. That can help us obviously when we're registering your student for classes, but also uh, it's going to happen for the future too. So we need to know that so we can get you a proper schedule and get your students credit for the classes that they should have. So those are kind of our main points. There's always other little things. There's always questions that come up. There's never silly questions. We always anything you have a question on, we're happy to answer. We're glad to talk to people over the summer. It's a little quiet on campus over the summer for us. So anytime we can hear from people and families, we love to hear it because that's the fun part of the job. So I will before I pass it off, are there any questions that came up about any of the admission topics?
Yep, we did get a question, Eric,
Great.
about the registration day on the 20th. The question is, should we arrive at 12, not 12:30?
That's a very good question. So either one is fine. We will be opening the doors, so to speak, about noon. The actual day starts at 1:15 with the welcome and the official kickoff. But we're going to be offering lunch in our dining hall starting at noon, as well as what we call our Wildcat 101, which you'll see multiple offices, financial aid, student billing, student life, IT. They'll all be set up and it's kind of just a come and go. You can walk up and talk to in those offices, turn paperwork in, all that stuff. So we are saying noon. You may have seen 12:30 as well. We did a shift where we're having we usually do a morning and an afternoon, but we're actually a ton of people signed up for the afternoon, so we're just putting it all in the afternoon. So we're letting you come a little earlier than we had normally done, but 12 or 12:30 is fine. But you'll be welcome to come in anytime in that period.
We also got a question. Will we get to see their dorms this day?
So we will be able to show you our showroom, but the actual your specific student room, we unfortunately won't be able to show you that day. But we can absolutely show you a room in Wood Hall, which is our tour room. So if you visited campus, hopefully you've seen that, and that was going to be very similar to the room that your student will have. But the rooms are in the process of kind of getting prepared for the year. So we're not able to unfortunately show them directly. We can certainly show you the building. It should probably be either Wood Hall or Sperry Hall, and we're happy to show you those buildings. But the specific room won't be available just yet.
There's another question. Will there be a notification from CSC that transcripts have been received?
There isn't an auto notification, but typically your admission counselor will try to reach out. Our office will do that occasionally and just kind of let you know. It isn't an automatic thing in our system, but we will kind of touch base occasionally to let you know. So it may not be the minute we get it, but we will let you know. We'll try to let you know as quickly as we can that we did receive it. All right. Well, if any other questions pop up, I'm here in the chat. I'm happy to answer anything. But I will move on to our Director of Financial Aid, Tina Wiseman.
Good evening, everybody. Like Eric said, my name is Tina and Director of Financial Aid here at Culver-Stockton. And I'll kind of just touch base on a high level, and then I'll bring in the guru, Patty, and she will actually show you some screenshots and processes and everything that we need completed for financial aid. Okay. Um, Again, we award financial aid, we process financial aid, and I would like to kind of piggyback on what Eric was saying about the registration day. I would highly recommend you to attend that day if at all possible, and because you actually get to sit down and have an individualized appointment with our office. We'll have three ladies over there, and we'd be more than happy to sit down and speak with you, go over your financial aid, your students' financial aid, and discuss billing and all that. So if you do come early and would like to sit with us, we'll be over there about noonish. Okay, and we'll just touch on some topics. A normal process in regards to receiving a financial aid package is your student will be accepted. We receive a FAFSA if you're going to file, and then complete any documentation that is required, which Patty will kind of touch on. We'll put that together, and then your student receives it two waves. One is in the mail, an actual paper copy, and then another is we give it to our admissions counselor. They scan and email it to the student. And then they follow up with the student and make sure, ask if there's any questions or anything. So if for whatever reason you have not received a financial aid package or your student hasn't, feel free to email our email at financialaid@culver.edu or contact the admissions counselor or call us too, and we can figure out why that has happened. We receive FAFSAs every day, so we're trying to really process them as soon as the student is accepted and whatever documents is complete and get that out to you guys as soon as possible. But if you are curious as to why, first ask your student because they more than likely did receive it in their email, and then also a paper copy at home. Okay, so I think that's what we'll talk about: books and nursing and work study. We'll touch base a little bit on all those, but I'll turn it over to Patty and she'll get you started.
Okay. Waiting for my screen to come up. So I am logged into my Culver. Where do I go? It's myculver.com. And I'm going to go, where do I go to see the financial aid portal? So under the students tab at the top, down here over on the left, if you click on financial aid portal, there's a link here that ends in net partner student. So when you click that, it's going to bring up another screen. There we go. So this is the net partner portal. So this portal is we're going to talk about Mickey Mouse today. So this is Mickey. He's going to log in and look and see some information here about your financial aid, contact information for us, postal mail, text. You can text us if you want to do that. But where can I go look and see my financial aid? So under accept and decline awards, the first thing the student's going to get is a screen that says, I understand how I need to use my financial aid. When the student agrees to that, make sure that they understand that all of their financial aid is be used for school purposes. So this screen is going to show you information about tuition cost, the housing and food. That's an estimate for students. Their actual housing and food charges will be shown on their billing statement for the actual housing that they're in and the food plan that they've chosen. So some different things they can need to plan for: books, supplies, personal and transportation costs, all those different things. So here is Mickey's financial aid offer. So Mickey could come in here, go in and say, I'm going to change. I want to accept my grants and change those. If there's any messages, Mickey wants to accept his subsidized loan, but he says he wants to decline his unsubsidized loan. So he can click submit. And those are going to go into our system, and we're going to be able to see what the financial aid that the student wanted to use. So you can see down towards the bottom, the financial aid offer that the student's loan is declined. So one thing to remember about when the student declines or accepts a loan, they can make changes to that at any time throughout the academic year. So just because you accept a loan today or you decline a loan today doesn't mean you can come back. You can come back to us later and you can say, I decided I need $300 of that loan, or I need $500 of that loan. That's no problem. We can make that adjustment for you. Just let us know what it is that you want to do. Or if you got more financial aid later in the year, you got an outside scholarship and you want to let us know about that, we won't decline those loans automatically. You'll have to be the one to accept or decline the loans. If you get additional funding, make sure you send that to us. You can see down here, Mickey's got a Show Me to College scholarship. That's a private scholarship. Let us know if you have any scholarships. We want to make sure and get those added to your account. Any private scholarships that you receive, we're going to split those half in the fall and half in the spring semester. So keep in mind, that's how those will show up on your student bill, is if you send us a copy of those. Excuse me. Then we're going to go to documents and messages. Mickey's got a lot of stuff to turn in. So if you are receiving a fine arts or athletics scholarship, you'll need to submit one of those. You can click right here on the name of it. That's going to bring up a copy of that fine arts agreement, a PDF of that. You can upload those right here. It's going to tell you you can choose that file. You can take a snapshot of it. You don't have to make a PDF, but take a picture on your phone. You can upload it directly from there. The dependent housing agreement, that type of thing. So master promissory note and entrance counseling. Those are two processes that need to be done to finalize a student's federal loan. So Mickey decided to choose and accept part of his loans. So he'll need to finish that master promissory note. When you click on this link, hover over that and click on it, it takes you directly to the studentaid.gov website where you can complete that. So the student will need their federal student aid ID that they use to complete the FAFSA. They'll use that to complete that master promissory note. Same thing with the entrance counseling. They'll need those to complete both of those processes. So other things you can see in here, Parent Plus loan information. Again, there's a link here directly coming from there. The Parent Plus loan interest rate has been set at 8.94% for the 2025-26 academic year. So the parent can go directly here, click on that. We'll get electronic notification that the parent has applied for that loan and get that put on the student's account. Some other things you're going to see, there's information about financing options. Our CFO, Julie Strauss, is going to talk more about actual payment options, payment plan, things that students can use a private student loan in addition to their federal student aid. If they're not going to take out a Parent Plus loan or they're not looking at the Parent Plus loan, they can look at a private student loan. So private student loans are loans in the student's name, but they have to have someone co-sign on that loan. They just don't have enough credit as a student. They probably would not be approved on a loan on their own until they're about 25. So if you have a student that is older, they may be able to get that loan on their own. So any questions that you guys have, or you want some advice on which loan should I use, definitely give us a call. We want to work through that with you and give you the best advice on that. A private student loan, you don't have to take out all your funding in a private student loan. You can use a combination of a payment plan and a private student loan. So say, for example, you owe $6,000 for the year and you want to pay $100 a month on that. You could set up a payment plan for $500 for the fall semester, $500 for the spring semester, and then do your private student loan for the remaining $5,000. So all those are different things that students and parents can look at. It's a little bit confusing if you haven't been through that before. Everybody in our office that works has had our kids have been in college. I still have one in college, so we're right there with you trying to figure out what's going on from day to day with the students. So are there any questions from anyone on anything?
Patty, we have a question in the chat. Will you explain the difference between subsidized and unsubsidized loans?
So a subsidized loan does not accumulate interest while the student's in school. An unsubsidized loan does accumulate interest while the student's in school. It's all going to be one lender. So the Department of Education, any federal student loans that you take out, you're going to have one lender, which is the Department of Education. So students can be awarded up to a certain amount of subsidized loan and up to a certain amount of unsubsidized loan. So freshmen coming in, everybody's eligible to receive up to $5,500 per academic year. That split sometimes is $3,500 subsidized is the most for subsidized, and then the other $2,000 would be unsubsidized. So loans themselves are deferred until 6 months after graduation or if a student dropped below part-time enrollment. So they have a 6-month grace period after their last date of attendance before they actually go into repayment. So unsubsidized accumulate loan while you're in school. There's no penalty for early repayment. You can pay on any loan that you take out while you're in college. It doesn't make the loan go into repayment, but you certainly can pay on that anytime that you want. Any other questions? If not, like I said, please contact us if you have anything. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Julie Strauss, our Chief Financial Officer, and she's going to talk a little bit about bills and payment options.
Thanks, Patty. So first and foremost, I just want to say welcome to everybody that's on the call. We are so excited and can't wait to meet your student in the fall. I always have to say this. I graduated from Culver. My oldest brother graduated from Culver. My oldest daughter graduated from Culver. She met her husband here and he graduated from Culver. And my youngest daughter is a senior here. We love it here. We bleed blue and we can't wait to get you here so that you can have all those amazing experiences as well. The student billing office reports to my office, and so that's what I'm going to be discussing tonight. As Tina said earlier, new students do actually receive a physical paper copy of their bill in the mail, but that'll be the last time that you receive a physical paper copy in the mail. We do try to be a little bit environmentally friendly here at Culver. So after that, you will go on to My Culver and log in and retrieve your bill. And so we're going to talk about that just a little bit. Okay, so as Patty showed you earlier, when you want to go in and look at your bill, you will log into My Culver, and Patty showed you that, and she showed you the students link, which is at the top middle of the page. The very first link on the left-hand side is the Pay Student Account link. If you click on that right away, you'll see a big blue button that says View PDF, and that's where you can actually see your student's bill, or where your student can see their bill. When your student clicks on that and they pull up their bill, what you will see will be the charges for the fall semester and all of the aid that financial aid has put on the bill. So you will see a charge for example, your undergraduate tuition, your room charge, your meal charge, and then you'll see all of your aid. So if there's an athletic scholarship, it'll be on there. If there's an academic scholarship, it'll be on there. If there's a Pell Grant, an SEOG grant, anything like that, all of that you will see directly there on the bill. And then when you get to the bottom of that bill, if that number at the bottom, so you take all of the charges minus all of the aid that's been put on there, when you get to the bottom, if that number is negative or zero, you're really pretty much done. You don't have to do anything else with student billing. If that number is positive, then that means that you do have a bill, and my office is here to help you take care of that. So in order to pay your bill, I'm going to scroll down here just a little bit. I'm going to try to pay your bill. If you want to pay with a paper check, that works perfectly well. That works great. You can hand deliver it, so you can come to my office and pay your bill that way, or you can mail it. If you mail it, you will mail it to Culver-Stockton College, attention student billing, Henderson 208, One College Hill, Canton, Missouri. If you want to pay your bill online, you're going to go the exact same place that you went before, that Patty showed you, where you go to the students link, pay student account, but now you're going to go to my financial account, which is on the right-hand side. It's a big green button, and you could click pay account. If you want to pay your account that way, we do accept credit cards. We accept Visa, MasterCard, and Discover. We do not accept American Express, and we also accept e-checks. If you would prefer to call in and make a payment via credit card, we'd be glad to take your payment that way as well. If you decide when you look at your bill, so let's say you have all your charges, subtract all of your aid, and let's say you owe whatever it might be, let's say you owe $1,000 and you want to set up a payment plan, you do the exact same thing. You go back to the same spot on My Culver, the pay student account, but instead of selecting the big green pay account button, you select the small green button that says payment plans. And if you select a payment plan, we have 3 great options for you. If you would like to, so if you owed $1,000 and you wanted to pay it in 5 installments, you could pay $200 each installment, and you could pay that on June 26th, July 26th, August, September, and October. Or if you'd prefer a 4-month payment plan, you could take the $1,000 and divide it in 4 and pay it on July 15th, August 15th, September 15th, and October. Or we also have a 3-month plan option. And if you decide to go that way, then the payments are due August 1st, September, and October. Otherwise, if you want to pay the bill all at once, our bills are due the first week of August. Now, it's very important to note that all of the payment plans end in October, and that is very purposeful. When your student wants to register for their spring classes, so the classes that begin in January, the bill has to be paid in full, and registration opens for the spring semester in October. So we make sure the payment plans end in October so that the bills are paid and the student is ready and able to register for classes in the spring. I did include on here, if you want to reach out to the student billing office, email works great. So it's studentbilling@culver.edu, or a phone call works great too. The phone number is 573-288-6000, and then the extension is 6492. And if you have any questions about the bill, please feel free to reach out, in the student billing office. Team would be glad to assist and help you figure out what might be going on with your bill. I would strongly encourage you, when you couple things. When you look at the student bill, our plan is to publish those bills tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, then hopefully no later than Monday. I would encourage you to go back and look at the bill throughout the semester. We publish them every single month. So I would encourage you to look at them occasionally as you go throughout the semester, because sometimes they change. So for instance, if the student were to change their meal plan and pick a different one, the bill changes. If the student were to change classes and they'd have different course fees, the bill changes. If the student, if the current housing location isn't correct, it could change. So I would encourage you to look at that bill occasionally throughout the semester. They are published every single month. The other thing I wanted to mention, as the parent or the guardian of the student, if you want to be able to discuss your student's bill with my student billing team, I would encourage you to have a conversation with your student about FERPA access. FERPA stands for Family Education Right to Privacy Act. And so your student will actually need to log into My Culver, and on the left-hand side, there's a tab called FERPA, and they would have to grant FERPA access to a parent or guardian in order for us to be able to discuss the bill with the parent or guardian. So sometimes it can be frustrating if a parent calls in and the student hasn't granted that access, and then we can't have that discussion. So I would just encourage you to go ahead and talk to your student and see if they want to grant that access, and that way we can have those conversations with parents or guardians. And I think that's everything I have.
Julie, we had a question. Will these documents be available to us as a resource? We can certainly include these in the parent newsletter that's going out on July 1st, and I can absolutely put these on our parent social media, on our Facebook and Instagram. Julie, is there any other way that you can think of that I could make this accessible to parents?
Oh, we actually can include this. There's a spot when you go into My Culver and that big blue tab that has the view bill. We can attach it there too. So that'd be lots of different ways for them to be able to have this.
Awesome. Another question just came in. It says, where do I find Form D registration for FAFSA?
So Form D the registration, if it's on my Culver, may refer to, we call it Form D, which is the sign up for our registration for classes. That may be the confusion. I may be misunderstanding the question. I'm not sure on FAFSA where it would apply to, but if you see that on my Culver, or if it's asking you to do that, that is just a sign up for our registration day, either again long distance or the one in June. Or if we want to clarify that, if I'm totally off base on that, but that is what we call Form D on the admission side.
We don't have a Form D for FAFSA. If you're looking to file the FAFSA and hasn't been done so far, you can do that at studentaid.gov.
Are there any other questions? Okay, it says the question about let's see. Bridget, the email saying your son still needed that. Are you referring to the promissory note, or are you referring to the Form D? The Form D.
I most likely it's for registration. So if you feel free, Bridget, either if you want to message me here or if you want to email me, I'll put it in the chat with more information. I won't if you want to share your son's name, I'm happy to look it up. But most likely it's that he still needs to do registration, which depending on where you're from, if you're from farther away and haven't done class registration yet, we'll have him signed up for long distance. If he's not signed up for the June date, we'll do it automatically. So don't need to worry about it. But if you want to email me, oh, you're coming on the 20th, then yeah, so don't worry about it. So you can just don't worry about the Form D. You're all good to come on the 20th.
All right. I did throw my email address in the chat again. Because again, I am your liaison, parents. I'm here to help in any way that I can. Patty threw the financial aid email address in the chat. I'll throw the student billing. Well, there we go. Julie beat me to it. Got that in there. Those are, that's all of our contact information. So if you're like me and the minute this Zoom session ends, you think of 10 things that you should have asked, you can certainly reach out. If you don't know who to ask, you can always start with me and I'll make certain I get you connected to the right folks. So again, everyone, thank you so very much for hanging out with us tonight. We do hope that you found this helpful. We will be hosting another session on June the 26th. We will be going through similar information, but we may be expanding upon it a little bit because bills will have gone out by then. So you're welcome to join us again if you'd like. It will be the same Zoom link. So you won't have to wait for another one. If you are the parent of a student athlete, on June the 23rd, we will be having another live Zoom session with the director of athletics and some of the coaches. So Eric will be sending out more information about that. And then I believe the rest of our sessions for the summer are going to be recorded. But again, we'll have Eric get all of that information out to you as soon as we have that solidified. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. We hope that you all have a great rest of your evening, and we cannot wait to meet all of you in August because it will be here before we know it, friends. So have a great night, everyone. Thank you.